All right, I'm going to blow through this next little session pretty quick, but it is very important. What happens when you drop this down in the chamber of your rifle, close the bolt, and it's now, all of it like that is surrounded by lots of heavy steel. You got the breech out here, you got the bolt back here, okay, tightly encased. And this thing is stuck in there kind of like a cork in a champagne bottle. So you pull the trigger, firing pin comes forward, hits the primer. The primer's got that special compound stuff in there that burns real quick when you put it under pressure. And all them little sparks from the primer go out into the body of the case, and they start the powder that's inside the case burning. Burning very quickly, but still burning. Now, as it converts itself from a solid to a gas, which it does during the burning process, that creates energy, heat. The heat causes the gas to expand. As it expands, the pressure rises. The pressure is held inside this case. It can't go anywhere, and the case is all surrounded by steel everywhere. That pressure builds up until it gets to the point where that little cork in the champagne bottle pops out. That's the only place for that pressure to go. And that pressure keeps building because the powder keeps burning. The bullet moves up the barrel, stuff's still burning, accelerates the bullet through the barrel, again, because that's the only place this pressure can go. This case has expanded from that pressure and sealed itself inside your breech to prevent all that gas from coming back and hitting you in the face. If it didn't expand, it'd get really nasty there behind the bolt. Finally, that bullet goes out the end of the barrel, and all of that pressure can now equalize itself with the atmosphere. It's still burning. If you don't believe it, go out on YouTube and do some digging around and find some of the videos of the old World War II battleships firing a broadside. Well, two things that I want you to do when you look at that little video. Notice that big old fireball that comes out of there. That's all the powder that is still burning when that bullet goes out the end of the barrel. Second thing I want you to notice is look down at the water, and you'll see this smoothing of the water moving out away from the ship in kind of a semicircle. That is sound waves, also called shock waves. When a cartridge, and in the case of those big old 16-inch guns, they didn't have a cartridge. They relied on the actual steel of the gun itself to maintain the pressure inside. They just used big old sacks of powder and a big honker bullet. Okay. But when all that stuff starts happening and this powder converts from a solid to a gas during the oxidation process, it creates sound. Creates sound because the pressure working on the metals and the wood and all the other stuff around it makes them vibrate, which is what sound is. It's the vibration of a material, normally air, which is what we hear in our ears through. But all this stuff starts vibrating, and it all vibrates at a different frequency. Actually, it's even more than that. There would be a minor, very minor vibration when you pull the trigger and the sear released the hammer. There would be another one when the hammer hit the firing pin. There would be one when the firing pin hit the primer. Those are all very, very minor vibrations, and they wouldn't do much. But when that powder starts converting from a solid to a gas, then we start getting some real vibrations. And those vibrations is why I'm having this little talk. because each one of these things creates a different vibration, which creates a different hole in the paper at 100 yards, or in that elk at 500 yards. And that's what we're going to get into next.